Yes, sir. What's up, good people? It's your boy, D-Boy Henry Heck, back at it again with another video. And this time we'll be speaking on the Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble, and it's gearing up for the global launch. This is a hero shooter mobile game based off of the PlayStation IP Ratchet and Clank. So, you know, it will be a live service situation. But the way I'm looking at it is, it's a win-win, right? The people who still want to enjoy live service games from PlayStation will still be able to, and also the people who were against main studios creating and pushing live service games also win. You know, you can make these games for cheaper. The main studios aren't making them, so that broadband, that bandwidth isn't being taken up, and also PlayStation still gets to push forward into the live service genre and possibly expand these franchises and these spin-offs if these games are indeed successful. So I've already pre-registered, of course. You know, I did see a lot of the PlayStation fan base kind of I won't say upset, but you know, kind of speaking in the negative light about it, about how, you know, trend chasing and not learning their lesson. And from the outside looking at it, it's just not true. You know what I mean? This is a different studio putting this together, you know, so it's not a main studio, so none of their studios is having to take away from single player narrative driven games, which was an issue, which is one of the things that people, you know, spoke negatively to when Sony PlayStation announced that they would be pursuing live service games. So that's nipped in the bud. You know, Insomniac is going to have to be bothered with this. So it's a win-win. You know, these studios that are making these mobile games are, I would think, somewhat competent in putting them together. You're going over to mobile where there are potentially more gamers who will engage in your stuff. Not only they're more willing to spend on microtransactions over there. Even though I play mobile games quite regularly. I'm not spending no money. You know what I mean? I think Zenless Zone Zero got some money out of me, but that was only because it was on the PlayStation and it was a super duper discount for, you know, the launch of the game. So I spent like $10 on some resources, and that was what it was. But I think this is cool. I'm definitely gonna be checking this out. And on the one hand, you see people upset that it's not coming to console, but at the same time, it's like, bro, you didn't want the multiplayer games in the first place. You didn't want the live service push anyway. So that shines some light onto a idea or a thought I had been having, is some people don't know what they want until you show them. So, you know, PlayStation jumping out the window and just saying, hey, we doing this many live. They shouldn't have done that. They should have never done that. And they should have just put out what they put out. If people liked it, they liked it. And if they engaged with it, they engaged with it. And then that was the end of it. When you jump out the window with that number, you gonna bring your, and they've been doing this a lot, you know, even recently with the idea of, not even the idea, with the notion that they're going to end physical disc productions. We don't actually know why. I'm pretty sure there's a real reason going into the next generation as to why they're not going to pursue this anymore, as far as at that time it being the current thing they do. But because they announced it so early, now the people are left to speculate. So anytime it's some negative stuff, people are able to spin their own narrative up about it. And then again, this PlayStation's fault. They should have brought the whole thing to the forefront at that time, or just kept quiet until they were ready to. So they've been doing making a lot of, in my opinion, mistakes communication wise, as far as speaking too soon. You know, it's cool when you speak soon and you give a lot of, not speak soon, but speak early and give a lot of people a lot of time to make a decision. Because, you know, shout out to them for that, because now a lot of people, if they want to move and transition to PC, they got plenty of time to build that PC and transition to PC. If they want to go to Nintendo, they can go ahead and, you know, instead of waiting till later to go ahead and get that Nintendo Switch 2 after the price increase, they could go ahead and get it now while it's still cheaper. You know, so it's provided the customer a lot of room and opportunity to make that decision now, rather than, you know, later on. And a person may be like, well, damn, had I known this, I would have went ahead and got a Switch. Or had I known this, I would have went ahead and start putting monies aside to upgrade my PC or whatever. So them speaking early, speaking soon, what am I talking about? Them speaking so soon about the situation was to the benefit of the customer, even though there are a lot of things left out still. And I do think that it's got something to do with what the PS6 is going to be, and how it's going to interact with certain stores, and how people are going to be able to engage with the media on that device. I 100% believe that at this point, because that's the only thing that really makes sense. But back to this game, I don't really care for touchscreen controls. I usually just hook up a PS4 controller, and that's how I get around. And these mobile games were also what was kind of pushing me in a way, like, oh man, I just play these bitches on PC straight up. I just play them there because there isn't anything super notable that I want to play on PC. Everything of like AAA value or, you know, AAA budget, I could just play on the 5 and call it an evening. But there are some things and avenues I would like to explore through PC. Mobile games being one of them. Being able to play Destiny Rising on the big screen, Division Resurgence on the big screen, this game on the big screen, the other Horizon game on the big screen. You know, it's a lot of mobile games of console quality that aren't coming to the console. It just is what it is. But through PC, I could explore those games. Now, let's head over here. All right. Scroll on down. Suit Up Rangers. Pre-register for Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble is now open worldwide on the App Store and Google Play. I'm on Google Play. To celebrate, we're launching a community rewards program headlined by a reward we think Ratchet and Clank fans will especially love: the exclusive Clank Suit 4 widget. Since the game's revealed a few months ago, we've been testing, refining, and experience through regional soft launches in Canada, the Nordics, France, and Asia. After a successful testing phase shaped by the player feedback, not by the player, but by player feedback, Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble is now gearing up for a global launch, and pre-registration is the first step on that journey. We can't wait for what's coming next. Now, this is cool. So it seems like it was a positive situation. We've seen multiple mobile games now make it out of this stage of testing. Division Homeland, I think the Final Fantasy 14 mobile game, they didn't make it to global. It's a bunch of these games that don't make it to global. So when you have a IP, now this popular, I wouldn't even say this IP is popular. I'll just say it's known, because, you know, sales speak for themselves. But even in places like France or Asia, and the Nordics, you know, so that speaks to kind of the quality, or at least funability of the game. And it's cool that they were able to take in those feedbacks and then take action and get things rolling in a way to where they feel confident in launching this good guy global. It's a character right here. Okay, what is Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble? Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble is a free-to-play multiplayer hero shooter that brings the iconic franchise to mobile. Developed by OBB in collaboration with PlayStation Studios and Insomniac Games, Captain Quark has created a revolutionary combat simulation to find the next generation of galactic rangers. But, well, it's Quark, so once you step into the arena, anything can happen. Okay, so it's gonna be some it sounds like gonna be some modes popping off in this joint. Players choose from legendary heroes, master unique abilities, and unleash an arsenal of explosive weapons in real-time PvP arena battles, enhanced by dynamic PvE elements that add depth and variety to every match. So it's gonna be a lot going on. That's cool, especially on MOBAs, because a lot of times in PvP, one of the things I really appreciate, for example, Call of Duty, you in and out the door in 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You could, while your wife getting ready, while the food finishing up in the oven, you can get in and get your kick and then get back to what you're doing. And with mobile, they've condensed that time down even more, to where a match might only take 2 minutes, might only take 3 minutes. So you can get a lot in, get a lot of experience, and you know, keep the ball rolling, experience a lot of things in a short amount of time. That's a key thing with mobile gaming. They get you in and get you out the door. They really respect your time. But it's also an aspect of the negative portion that some may say is, since it's so quick, that it incentivizes people to go ahead and, you know, pay for convenience or something along those lines. But what'll be interesting to see is how they approach monetization because if you did monetize certain things in a PvP game, it wouldn't be pay for convenience. It would be considered pay to win, which is a big no-no, huge no-no in these type of joints. Okay, so the hero lineup is something we're especially proud of, with 12 heroes available at launch and more to come. Each character brings a fresh new perspective to the Ratchet and Clank universe. Players will discover brand new characters never seen before in the series. Legendary heroes from the past, each with their own story and personality, from robots, aliens to new Lombaxes. Every hero has a unique playstyle, design, and exclusive cosmetics. That's probably where they're going to be getting their money right there. For OBB, it was a real privilege to collaborate directly with Insomniac on the design and backstories of the new Lombaxes, including insights from some of the original developers and designers behind the series' most iconic titles. Bringing these characters to life inside the simulation has been a true passion project for the creative team, and we can't wait for players to meet them. And you see the characters down there, kind of cute, artsy type of vibe, but it's still in line with the Ratchet and Clank universe, you know what I mean? Whereas you got the new Horizon multiplayer game coming to the consoles, visually is totally different than what we've come to know from that series. At launch, Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble features 6 distinct game modes, giving players plenty of ways to jump into the action. Squad up with friends in fast-paced team PvP battles, take on waves of enemies in PvE, or discover fresh twists to the license, including a Battle Royale inspired mode and a football inspired mode showdown where every goal comes with a little extra firepower. And yes, it's football, not soccer. Whether you're chasing competitive wins, looking for co-op chaos, or simply excited to experience the Ratchet and Clank universe in a brand new way, there's a Rumble for you. Every mode is built around the fast and inventive, over-the-top action, and has always defined the series. Nice. Alright, so it's going to be a bunch of different modes, even some shooting modes, PvE, some sports type modes, maybe some Rocket League type action. It's going to be cool. It sounds like it's going to be plenty to choose from, plenty to keep the people engaged. Respecting the legacy, reimagining the action, staying true to the series has been at the heart of the project from day one. The signature humor, beloved characters, and gloriously inventive weaponry that have defined Ratchet and Clank over 2 decades are all here. Reimagined for the fast-paced battles, built specifically for mobile, and new characters and weapons to discover. It's going to be a lot here, boys. Music has also been a huge part of development. We drew inspiration from the music of the early games to capture the dynamic, nostalgic Ratchet and Clank tone we wanted for Ranger Rumble. One of the most rewarding moments for the team has been seeing longtime fans connect with that legacy and even ask us to release the soundtrack on streaming platforms. For the team, that kind of connection with longtime fans has been incredibly rewarding. Now that's cool, you know what I mean? That's cool. They let me know it's gonna be some tracks on here. When folks start asking for the soundtrack on streaming services, they let you know it's gonna be some certified hood classics on that good guy. And it's cool that they was able to work so closely as far as inspiration and whatnot, because it's showing that they want to stay true to what people enjoy from the IP. As longtime players and fans ourselves, we know how much this universe means to people. That's why our ambition was never just to bring Ratchet and Clank mobile, but to create a game that feels like it truly belongs in the series. Mobile brings a new way to jump into action, but the goal has always been clear: deliver a polished, authentic experience that respects the franchise, its legacy, and players who love it. That's also great to hear. All great to hear. Mobile games have come a long way. You know, a lot of people look at mobile and they kind of think of like back in the day how it used to look visually and perform, but it's a new day and age, and mobile games just are leagues and leagues better than what they used to be visually, gameplay wise, movement. Again, I dislike touchscreen controllers, but a lot of times they do support multiple inputs. And then it goes on to speak to the pre-registration and all these different things that I'm not going to get into, but it's just awesome to see. And I will for sure be participating on this, putting out videos and whatnot, and playing it quite regularly and throwing it into my rotation. I think it's cool. Like, I was never upset about live service push because I enjoy live service games. I enjoy single player games, so I didn't feel alienated one way or another, but I do understand how a single player narrative driven game would feel kind of slighted, because Sony PlayStation is known for a specific thing. That's probably why they jumped into PlayStation, and then they see that certain attentions are being spent on this other thing that they don't necessarily even care for. So I feel like I said in the beginning, that this is a happy middle ground to where they can still push that, but also give the single player individuals the space they want with their preferred developers to keep making the style of game that they prefer to play. But also, you know, people who don't mind mobile game, who don't mind live service game, who don't mind these types of spin-off, can also have something to enjoy. And also, it's a means to spread that IP out, and a different way for different people to engage with the IP and possibly grow it. You know, some people who play this may go back and get ripped apart, or they may even give enough attention and money coming in to where they want to go ahead and put out the next one sooner, or get started working on the next one sooner than later. You know, there is a kind of plan out there already as far as roadmap, but certain things changed and etc. But I'm hyped for it. You know, let me know down in the comments if it's something you're looking forward to. Do you play mobile games? Are you a Ratchet and Clank fan? Is this something you just are just going, since it's free, check it out. Just really just give it the opportunity to win you over. I think it's dope. But yeah, that's all I got for you right now. I'm not gonna drag it out no longer. Catch me every Tuesday on the Will Triple 7 JP's channel for the Just Playing live stream. Catch me every Saturday on my own solo podcast, GGR Podcast, 11 a.m. Eastern. Catch y'all next one.